Previously on Ballz.
We go down to the Eastern Cape, Port Elizabeth, and Cheeky Watson joins us on Ballz Visual Radio. Cheeky! How's it going, Cheeky?
Darren, well, and yourself?
Very, very good. Thanks a lot for joining us for the first time on Ballz, and Johnny giving a massive round of applause. We've been asking him because every story in sport that he leads, he always leads with the Southern Kings. So we were asking if he's on your payroll.
I appreciate that, but Darren, I hope you are open and frank and transparent that you're also on our payroll.
Now, Cheeky, I said the surname's Scott, not Keohane. No, seriously. I mean, is Johnny doing your PR or something? Because certainly you guys should send him a jersey or something when they're ready, because he's always bringing the Southern Kings into the fold here.
But John did say to me that you feed him all the necessary positive information. So
absolutely. So what is the last time we sort of were looking, and it was on, it was off, it wasn't. There was talk that maybe you guys might basically, well, in a nutshell, sell a season, hold on for a while, let the Lions play another year, and then enter a year later. What's the status with all of that now?
I think we're reacting to the 40 million deal that came out of Cape Town. I think everybody's responding to that. There's nothing like that on the table that I'm aware of. But the only thing that I'm sure of and confident of is that there was a unanimous decision where it was voted, and there was not a single dissenting vote that we in for 2013, and that's a fait accompli. And we've got to work out a formula now to move forward from there.
All right, so I mean, where does it? So I mean, are you guys still in the process of getting this sorted out, or can we confidently say the Kings will be playing Super Rugby next year then?
Well, the Kings are in for 2013, but the process is, who do the Lions drop out? Is there some type of basket for them to drop into? Is there amalgamation? So the exact formula is still under discussion.
Yeah.
But as far as we're concerned, we're in for 2013. I think the delay puts us under tremendous pressure. I know it puts the Lions under pressure as well, but they've got players that they can take through to the Currie Cup. With us, it puts us under far greater pressure than the Lions, because it's the signing of the new players, and every second week or so there's another rumor, there's some more speculation, and it doesn't help our cause at all.
Yeah. Because I mean, one of the everyone from a Joburg point of view and the Lions support base are going, well, that's it, and it's unfair on them, but obviously we know what a hotbed of rugby the Eastern Cape is and has been for such a long time. And you sort of look at it in between somewhere. One of the schools of thought is, well, it's going to be is a lot of Lions players playing under a different name next year. Is that necessarily the case, or can you sort of let us into a little bit of the strategy around players that you guys will have next year?
That won't be the case at all. I think it will be unfair on the Eastern Cape, because then we're not building a brand at all.
Yeah.
And I think that, where the Lions are concerned, they can't complain, because we were supposed to, if you remember correctly, we were supposed to be in 2011. And we stood back to assist the whole process, so there wouldn't be the Lions wouldn't be dumped in a pot of boiling water, that they would have time to prepare and themselves. And so we have compromised quite a lot with Eastern Cape is concerned. But also, we as the EP Kings has to have a look at a scenario where one would like to get to a position where it stabilizes South African rugby as a whole. One wouldn't like to see the Lions drop out altogether. I'm just talking from the EP Kings perspective.
Yeah.
That there needs to be stability in South African rugby.
How would you not see? I mean, unless we can get rid of the Rebels, may that day come, or one of the other Aussie franchises. But I mean, how would you see us being able to accommodate both, unless there's an amalgamation of two of our franchises at the moment?
Darren, I wish I had the answer. I think this is debated at length, and I would imagine that there could be an answer in the not too distant future, and that's a decision that Saru has to make, because it's their call who the franchises are and what what teams participate in the Super 15 league.
Yeah.
Cheeky, do you have any idea where that report stems from? The one in the Cape Argus, in the weekend Argus?
I have no idea where it stems from because it's a mystery to me. I've had to circulate a statement that I released to all executive members because no one's aware where it comes from, and the thing that's been bandied around has just caused total confusion.
Yeah, because it basically says you accepted the deal because you don't think you're going to be successful in luring top flight players to the franchise next year, basically.
Top flight players, the luring of top flight players is a problem, but I think with all stories in the media, there's a little bit of truth in it, and then they take it a lot further and take it to the edge where the rest of it is then questionable. But where we are concerned, it is an issue. I mean, the Lions are having an issue with their players, with their admin. Yeah. We're having a serious issue luring players, so the delay doesn't help us at all.
All right, just go back to the, and I remember, this is not the first time this has been spoken about as far as Eastern Cape rugby goes. The guys have been talking about it for a long time. But, it's been said that Eastern Cape should have a side because it's a hotbed of rugby. How's it going to work? Because you talk about luring players, but what kind of balance are you trying to have between players that are in that area versus players that you're going to bring from other areas? Are you kind of setting a goal as to how many homegrown or locally bred players you guys are going to try and include into that squad?
I think the thing is, Darren, one's going to just have a look at the amount of players that are playing. We did a survey. Stefan Pretorius did a bit of a survey. And there were 42 players playing in Super Rugby that whose roots are from the Eastern Cape. And I think these players have always left in the past. Because you're going to remember now, possibly for a decade, this is something that people don't know, that the Borders, Southwestern Districts and Eastern Province have never been linked to a franchise. Yeah. So they've been sidelined more than any other teams in the country. So other teams, Boland and etc., are able to offer a ladder to move towards Super Rugby. And you can play for the Stormers if you join Boland. There was nothing we could offer for a decade. Yeah. So it's really affected this region adversely.
Grant wants to know what will the Kings gain from jumping in the deep end? Surely Currie Cup status and funding should come first. And there was another question. A few people have brought up the issue. Well, the performances in Vodacom Cup. Are those relevant at all? Those arguments?
I think if you have a look at the Lions won the Currie Cup, and the bottom of the log was Super Rugby. So it's horses for courses. I think you're talking the Kings are playing in the B section of the Currie Cup. It's not the Southern Kings. The Southern Kings is the franchise, and the EP Kings represents Eastern Province, and the Southern Kings is a totally different issue altogether. I think you just have look at the Rebels. They've lured players from all over the world to play for them. So it's for a short period of time that you play Super Rugby, and it's a different team altogether.
That's something I wish that we'd have done in this country a long time ago and had some kind of state of origin competition, because going back to even the late 80s and the early 90s, if you'd have had that competition in this country, probably Eastern Province and Western Transvaal back in those days, or Northwest, would be two of our strongest unions in that kind of competition, where you actually play players from where they're originally from.
Yes, absolutely.
Because Potch, I think, used to provide more than half the Bulls players at one stage, and I think you guys provided the other half as well.
I think we really do. I think you have a look at, if you have a look at the players that are playing in Super Rugby at the moment, the amount of Eastern Cape born players, it's alarming.
So is that going to be a target then, to try and get some of those players, lure them back to their roots? Okay.
Absolutely.
All right, cool. Well, Cheeky, we appreciate you talking to us. We'll be keeping an eye on what develops, as you say. When should we have some kind of final answer as to what is going to happen?
I would be possibly looking at the window of mid-August, end August. But it's one can understand, Darren, that that is possibly one of the most difficult decisions that Saru's had to make in the last decade.
Yeah.
It's just a serious decision that needs a lot of thought. So I think where Saru has to be encouraged is that the entire General Council, without a dissenting voice, voted for the Kings to be in 2013, which argues very, very, very well for the leadership of South African rugby.
All right, so we'll be keeping an eye on it, and as you say, August, we'll look out and see if, how it all transpires, how it all pans out, and what's going to be happening in 2013. Thanks for joining us this afternoon from Port Elizabeth.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, Dan.
All
right, bye-bye. Bye.
We the best on 3. 1, 2, 3. We the best.
2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Mondays to Fridays live on Ballz.co.za. Ballz.co.za.